Hey everyone! Today I'm going to talk to you guys about supporting your skin when you have acne. Something that I'll say about acne is like there's so many different kinds and there's so many different things that different people can react to. Like the list of things that is possible to aggravate your skin is so long and so in depth, and you really have to do like a little bit of trial and error to figure out what your skin likes and what your skin doesn't like. A great example of that is my skin doesn't like heavy oils. My skin does not like cocoa butter. It doesn't like olive oil. It doesn't like coconut oil like to sit on the face. That being said, I can remove my makeup with coconut oil and then wash my face and it won't give me acne. For some people, salts are a huge irritant for acne. For me, like sodium bicarbonate, baking soda, not an issue at all. I can use a salt exfoliator on my face and it won't give me acne. So things like that are really individual. So you're gonna have to do a little bit of hands-on research with your skin to figure out what's an issue for you and what isn't. And the other part of acne is internal. You want to drink lots and lots and lots of water. Water is super great when you have acne because it just helps your body cleanse. I also, when I'm having a flare-up, I will take lemon oil internally because it helps your body get rid of toxins naturally. And it's also great to eat right. Like I know some people have issues with like dairy or gluten or whatever. So if you see yourself reacting during certain times of the month, it could be hormonal. If you see yourself reacting after certain holidays, when you indulge in certain foods, it could be food related. And like above all else, totally see a dermatologist or ask your doctor about it if you have questions. These are just things that I have found in my experience as a makeup artist, as somebody who does facials, and as somebody who has acne. Just gonna give you guys a close-up of my skin so that you can kind of see what I'm working with and how this might relate to something that you guys are dealing with at home. As you can see, I do have acne scarring and I have acne that is receded back into the skin. I don't have any current breakouts or flare-ups right now, which is awesome. So I can kind of go ahead and worry about prevention and concealing more so than treating during this application. So the first thing I can say is make sure that your hands and face are clean. And that your face is moisturized, but not too heavily when you have acne. So I've noticed that like primers and priming sprays have a lot of crap in them that I'm not super fond of using on my skin. So I started making my own. It's really easy. Something else that I've noticed about myself is that I love packaging. So if I just made a bottle and whatever, I wouldn't use it. So I put a sticker on it. This is filled to about there with colloidal silver, which looks exactly like this. I got it on Amazon. Colloidal silver is antibacterial and it supports your immune system. So I got one that was food grade just because that's my preference for use on my skin. So I filled it up to there, and then I filled it up to about there with regular tap water. And then I added like a good tablespoon of glycerin. Glycerin is an all-natural ingredient that comes from vegetables that's going to hold stuff to your skin. It holds water to the skin, it holds makeup to the skin. It is the key ingredient in primers such as Max Prep and Prime Spray, the Too Faced Hangover RX, the Nivea Aftershave Balm for men. It's a super key ingredient in primers because it makes things stick to your face. And then I'm gonna reach for this. This is Manuka essential oil, made by Young Living. I'm gonna add 10 drops of this to the entire bottle. And the reason I'm gonna do that is because this oil is marketed by the brand to help support skin that's prone to blemishes. It supports healthy skin in general, but it's amazing for people who get acne. I dribble it on in there, and now because oil and water don't mix, every time you use this, you're gonna wanna shake it really well so that it gets all intermixed before you spray yourself. And I'm gonna use this as a primer, but also as a setting spray. So the purpose of setting sprays, some of them are really good for helping your makeup last, in which case this isn't really gonna do that. But the reason I like them is because any lingering powder on your skin that makes your skin look cakey is gonna recede, and this is just gonna make your skin look more fresh and dewy without looking oily. I just spray that like all over the face and then just kind of fan it in. So after your face is primed, I'm gonna take a damp beauty blender that it's clean. That's another thing, always use clean tools. This is a clean beauty blender that I pre-dampened in the sink. I run it under the water and just squeeze out the excess. And I'm actually gonna spray that with this as well. That way, if there's any surface yuckiness on the sponge, the manuka that's in this is gonna help to cleanse that. And now let's talk about foundations. I did a lot of research before I filmed this video to make sure that my shit was actually what I was gonna be talking about. So I combine these two foundations. And the reason that I do that is because I have combination skin. I have some areas that are oily and some areas that are normal. And then all of me is prone to acne. But even though I do get acne, I'm closer to 30 than I am to 20, so I really like to do stuff that has anti-aging properties in it, and I'm fair as a motherfucker, so I need to be concerned about sunscreen. Now, some of you may have noticed that the products that are usually great for protecting you from the sun are not always the most natural or the most safe, and they can be really bad for acne. Those tend to be heavier makeups. So this is the CC Plus Your Skin But Better Cream by IT Cosmetics. It has 50 SPF, and it only has 2 ingredients in it that are not the best for acne. And the great news is they're both relatively low on the list. The first ingredient in this that's not awesome for acne is stearic acid, which has a medium rating on the comedogenic scale, which means it's not definitely gonna give you acne, but it could. And the next ingredient in this, which is most likely because it's an anti-aging formula, is avocado oil. So, for those of you who don't do well with oils, that's another one that you might want to be like, nah, like you might want to test it over here a few times before you do it all over your whole face for like a week just to see if it aggravates your acne. For me, this is not a problem, but it is not quite my shade since I'm such a ghost. So the second one that I like to use is Kat Von D's Lock It Foundation. So in her shade 42 Light Neutral. This is almost exactly my skin tone. So I can mix these two together and it creates the perfect skin tone for me. And this is insanely mattifying. So this is gonna help me control the areas of my face that are more oily. If I used this just by itself, it would bring out the areas of my face that are a little bit more oily because of the ingredients in here that are specifically anti-aging. So this also has an ingredient in here that's not great for some people who get acne, and it is sodium chloride. So sodium chloride is one of those salt ingredients. So if you're like me and your skin is not aggravated by salts, this is fine. But if you are somebody who can be aggravated by salts, this is, you know, be a little careful. But again, the ingredient is further down on the list. It's not like entirely salt, it's just got some. It's like in the middle of the ingredients list. Same with this, the ingredients that are on the maybe list are in the middle, they're not up at the top. Products that have pumps. You're not touching this and letting the bacteria from your hands and your acne and your face go inside the tube, which is a problem that you run into with those glass bottles that you have to tip and fix. These, you're not gonna get any cross-contamination with. And I'll just like mix these together. That way I don't get any weird splotchiness on my face. And then just kind of put the rest of it on my face. And then once I put it all on the sponge, I pat it into my face using the pre-dampened beauty blender. And you can see that this formula is like really nice, almost full coverage. I would call it medium to full coverage. And it's extremely close to my skin tone, which is really, really tough for me because I'm so pale. I'm sure you guys saw that in addition to acne, I have lots of like broken capillaries on my chin and around my nose because I'm such a ghost. So I really like try and pack it into those areas. That way that doesn't show up. And then I'll take the fine tip and just go under my eye back and forth a couple times to make sure it's not settling in the fine lines around my eyes. And that's foundation. I'm gonna bring you guys close up again. And as you can see, that took out like 80% of the marks. So I don't need to do loads more, but I do like to conceal any areas that are like a little bit more pigmented if they're fresher, like they're not quite as far along in the healing process. So that's when I reach for my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. The Tarte Shape Tape Concealer is absolutely full coverage. It's not prone to creasing in the areas where you have fine lines and stuff. and the ingredients in it are actually really great. They're not natural by any means, but they're also not super harmful. The Tarte Shape Tape only has one ingredient that can cause acne, and again, it's a salt-based ingredient, so for me, there's no way this is gonna bring out any blemishes on me. So first I put it under my eyes because I'm so pale and because I have lots of dark circles. And then if I have anywhere where I feel like I've got, you know, like I could use a little more coverage, I'll put it there. And then I pick up that same beauty blender and I just tap out the concealer without removing it so that I'm getting the most coverage that I can for the areas that I'm not super happy with. And then I'll just kind of go around my face and make sure that that's really evenly blended down onto my neck, because there's nothing worse than when your face and your neck are different colors. I make my own facial setting powder with arrowroot powder, which has been tested but has no known effect on skin. So I take arrowroot powder and I put it like in this little basin thing, and then I add like some chamomile buds and some rose buds just to give it like the tiniest bit of natural fragrance. Plus chamomile is really calming for skin, especially irritated skin. And taking a powder puff, I just like pack that onto my face. Because my setting spray that I make isn't going to give me any longevity on my makeup, that's really why I like to set my face, because that is gonna give me long-lasting power. So I'll usually let this sit for a few minutes and like, you know, do my eyebrows or something while it's cooking. I don't worry as much about the rest of the makeup that I put on my face because it doesn't touch the skin as much. But if any of you guys watched my video on essential oils and makeup, like how I add oils to the products I use, you'll know that I do actually have a couple of things in my brow gel that help my hairs to grow in better, and cedarwood is one of them, and cedarwood is something that also supports skin health, especially when you're prone to blemishes. And then once that has like had a chance to sit for a few minutes, I just take a clean powder brush and like dust off anything that hasn't sunken into my face. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish my eyes really quick and I'll be right back. So once I get my face all the way together, I reach again for that priming slash setting spray that I make, and I'll just mist that all over the face again to remove any like powdery residue that's left on my face. And again, I just like fan that in, especially before I open my eyes, to help it like set. And I don't know if you can tell on camera, but that really does like set everything on the face in a way that doesn't look powdery. It just helps it look like real skin. So those are the products that I use to help myself out with my acne. And this lipstick is everything. It's called Fig by Smashbox. It's one of their little minis that they put out for holiday. I'll also occasionally use this little setting spray slash primer that I make to mist my brushes before I use them, and definitely to mist my beauty blender before I use it. So that's it for today. I hope you guys found this tutorial to be helpful, and I will see you again on Thursday.